So
I started.
Everybody's attention.
Tonight, we're ready for the workshop today of February 10th, 2026.
yeah,
I told him.
Okay, Mark,
Mr.
Roll call.
Malloy,
Here.
Mr. Hernandez,
Here.
Mr. Bernard,
here.
okay? Item number 1, dispense with reading the minutes of the workshop dated February 3rd and the regular meeting dated February 4th, and accept and approve the video recordings. Item 2 is to approve the bills. Item 3 was submitted by the auditor's office, so I'll let Kristen handle that one.
it's to approve the municipal advisory agreement by and between the Board of Trumbull County Commissioners and the MAS Financial Advisory Services LLC. This is an annual contract that we have with MAS, and that was Matt Stawinski, who was the one that came in and discussed that with us, of whether or not we should roll over the notes or roll them into bonds. That is. Again, this was an annual agreement. It was approved again this year by the prosecutor's office. The term would be February 5th, 2026, and then February 4th, 2027. The contract's for $8,000, but we only pay him if our debt issuance costs don't cover that $8,000. But if our, when we have our issuance costs and it's greater than $8,000, last year we didn't pay the issuance that we. The last time we paid him was for the 2023 debt issuance, and it took cover the $8,000. We ended up paying him a little over $43.
Item 4 is to accept and award the proposal for professional services as submitted by Baker Bednar Snyder and Associates. Provide technical specifications for the Trumbull County EMA Relocation Improvements Project. And Don Hickett's here, so I'll let him address that.
Yep, John Hickey, Trumbull County EMA Director. What we did, we actually picked the architect firms. They are already within the county, and we had them come out. I did a walkthrough with all 3 of them, and kind of gave them a scope of what we were looking to do. And they provided a quote for what their services would be. I believe did they get the quotes? Okay. So based on what was provided and what was presented at that walkthrough, that was a big part of it. The decision not only that I made, but I really leaned on Mike from the building department. We kind of went back and forth. I gave him a couple of my thoughts. He indicated, no, you're way off. You can't do it that way. So he kind of guided me quite a bit through it. But with all that being said, I am recommending to the board that we hire Baker Bednar and Snyder in the amount of $21,400. They will provide everything that I need, the drawings. When I do need them to be involved with the construction meeting, mainly like the initial, they'll take care of that. I will still be doing a lot of the work, but I feel comfortable with what Baker Bednar provided, for their service.
I only have one question.
Yes.
How long will it take for him to get the design ready for us?
He told me within 30 days they can have it ready. My goal is to have the bids ready and have them in front of you no later than mid-March, end of March. So that's my goal. So Any questions about the process or
If we do, we just call you.
what's
I
that?
said if we like to call you.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right, very good.
Thanks,
So,
John.
all right,
I think we're in the wrong profession with all these architect bids, but they are what they are when you bring multiple in and this is what you get.
I went, I mean,
That's the way government is.
Shara and it killed me, but it is, or unfortunately, we do have to hire an architect.
Yeah.
Because of the cost of the project, and that's right from Bill Dim, so, and, there's no way to get around it. So,
Sheriff Taylor, Commissioner's Office. John, didn't you also say that the reason, one of the many reasons for Baker Bednar choice is that they gave him additional information that wasn't asked for and ways to
Save
save
money.
on
on the
Actual-
project.
doing the project?
Yeah,
So
they did.
I agree wholeheartedly with
Oh, they're
that.
good, no doubt about that. Just that every time we have an architect,
Yeah,
it's never,
Yeah,
cheap.
it's never blown me away on how cheap it was yet.
make sure you.
Architects and attorneys, that's a profession to go into.
Yeah.
If you don't have anything else for me, I have another meeting I have to get to. Thank
Thank you, John.
Yep.
Start packing.
you.
Okay, item number 5 is to amend Commissioners' regular meeting agenda dated January 7th. This was to approve purchase of surplus 2016 Ford K9 Cruiser from the Warren PD in the amount of $2,000. Amendment is necessary to correct the fund number to Justice Sales Tax Fund and clarify the total amount of the vehicle as being $4,175 with the breakdown listed. This was submitted by Shara Taylor on behalf of Shara.
Yes, yes. And yeah, if you have any questions, what I did initially, Sheriff Taylor, Commissioner's Office. What I did wrong initially was the amount of $2,000, that is what we're paying the city of Warren. However, that's not the complete cost that's coming out of the justice sales tax. So that's why we have to have the correction. And then Christy wanted it to actually read the fund to read justice sales tax fund instead of just justice. So that's kind of my shorthand so that we're correcting it.
Any questions? Okay, items 6 through 8, County Engineer's Office, Gary Schaefer.
Gary Schaefer, Trumbull County Engineer's Office. Number 6 is to approve the time and place for our 2026 Trumbull County Engineer Annual Township Meeting. We have that every year, typically in April. This year will be April 8th, 6 p.m., to which is. And that's where we update you on our upcoming programs. I'll be giving an update. Our highway superintendent will be giving an update. Obviously, the county engineer, David Christopher, will be speaking with that too. Last year, we had the OPWC director up here. So it's a very good format. And that is going to be free for any township county authorities having directly to do with the construction and repair of the roads and bridges of the county. It is obviously open to the public. So guests are also able to pay fee to be established. So if anybody's got any questions on it, please feel free to call the office. Get you more information on that. 7 and 8 is just our annual material bids for asphalt and then bituminous materials. Thank you.
Item number 9 is to receive for record purposes Access Family Services Inc. doing business as Someplace Safe. This is to approve the request of Access Family Services Inc. for the release and designation of the domestic violence shelter funds, marriage license fee monies, and divorce fee monies, and to notify Someplace Safe of its eligibility to receive these funds. Shara, I don't know if you want to add to this at all.
There's not much to add. Sheriff Taylor, Commissioner's Office. This literally is every year. Unfortunately, they sent it to the commissioners. It kind of just got lost in the shuffle. Typically, we put this on in about October, November of the prior year for the following year. And this is just distributing. There's, I believe it's $17 per divorce, dissolution, marriage license that goes to actually Someplace Safe so that they can support themselves. So it helps. So we're just cleaning house, so to speak. Getting it on.
Okay, item number 10 is to approve the purchase, delivery, and installation of a replacement stove / oven for a juvenile justice center from Zabel's Restaurant Equipment Supplies in the amount of $12,253. And this was recommended by maintenance. Daryl?
Daryl Dunnigan, Trumbull County Facilities. The current stove oven that they have it's beyond repair. We've had it repaired a couple times and now it's finally bit the dust. Definitely needs replaced. They worked with us and cut the cost in some locations that others weren't willing to do. So that's my recommendation for Zops.
Question? Item 11 is just this is a resolution, retirement resolution for Mr. Okada. So we have that ready to go.
Yeah. I did call. Well, he'll be
Yeah.
I suppose so.
Okay. Item 12, to authorize the planning commission to mail letters to all the Trumbull County licensed drain layers. Project year 25 HSTS reserve program. Thought I saw Nick. There he
Yep.
is. Hawkins.
Nick Coggins, Trumbull County Planning Commission. This is for our home sewer treatment system grant. This is to help place sanitary laterals or septic systems for low income households. Just asking permission to send letters to licensed drain layers. In order to be eligible to work on this grant, you must be a registered and licensed drain layer through the health district. So we're sending all the letters directly to them. Let them know projects is available.
Thirteen and 14, sanitary engineer.
I'll take there.
Paul Martin, sanitary engineers, number 13 is for the personnel action to hire a gentleman by Michael Sarchik, to the position of draftsperson. He actually start on Thursday. This is to replace a person that resigned in 2025. We passed the drug test and background.
Gary Newbrow, sanitary engineer, commissioner, item 14. On our Elm Road booster station project, the EPA has told us we need to add polyorthophosphate to our water. What polyorthophosphate does is that it keeps the scale on, it prevents the scale from fluffing off on the inside of the pipes. So, because we are switching the Braceville system from Newton Falls water to Warren water, we need to have this polyorthophosphate into the water now because we don't want to have a situation we had in Sebring or Flint, Michigan, or that sort of thing. If they want to use polyorthophosphate on those two national calamities, they would have prevented that. So I don't know, abundance of caution, EPA is requiring us to put this in. So we need to add that to that system down there, and we'll be having the poly right after it comes out of the water treatment plant. That's for an additional $7,400. Yeah, you said Braceville, did you mean Bezetta? No. If you remember, we just built that state road water project and Newton Falls is supplying that blueprint project out there. And we built that line on state road so the water can supply it now. So we closed the Falls tap, open up the water tap and supply that with water. Because it's a lot cheaper and a lot higher quality. So before we can do that, though, we need to get this following introduced. Well,
Is this a one-time application or how does that work?
no, it'll be a feed system where it'll be putting in so many milliliters per gallons into the feed.
So we'll do it every so often?
It'll be a device down there with the poly in a vessel, with a dosage tube going into the flow with, you adjust the dosage of how many milliliters per 1,000 gallons go into it. It'll just be dripping this poly into the feed in perpetuity. So
So at
Yeah.
some point in time, we're gonna need additional funds. I mean, the 7,400 that you have here, that'll last.
we'll have to buy more poly.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's gonna be a chemical cost, but that isn't extraordinary.
No, I'm just trying to understand.
This is just adding the pump, put that stuff in the line.
Yes,
And then
to
you
add
fill
this to the project, yes. And the other thing I wanted to assure was that we are going to have at least 60 PSI in the northern terminus of Mill Road. They originally started to design this month.
Right.
They were just looking at making sure they can get the Champion Water Tower built out on 45. So I did tell them, hey, we need to make sure we have plenty of pressure on Mill Road too. Don't focus on just supplying to the Champion instead of distributing on that tank. Because we had that one business up there that came in and said that he didn't have enough pressure to run his business up there. So I want them to look and see if we have to upsize this pump in order to get that 60 PSI up there on it.
So I think that was Bulldog right there, right at McDonald's or whatever in Cortland, or just before Cortland.
Yeah.
He's still using a temporary fix until we get this done.
We granted him actual booster pump. It was like $1,500 and we installed one. Something
Yeah.
alleviate.
So he should use that until we get to this point, then we'll
Yeah.
test it to make sure
Yeah.
he's got the pressure he needs.
Yeah, and you also have to keep in mind that we have that Williams Drive water project coming up too. I want to make sure we have adequate pressure for that project.
Yeah, because that'll divert off that main line, that'll
Yeah.
affect the pressure of everything.
Yes.
So if he's at 60 or whatever at the end, then everyone behind him should be.
At that intersection at Elm Road 305, we should be at 70.
When is that hearing? You have any idea?
We just went out for the RFQ commissioners. They came back. We're still scoring it, so we don't have any design done or anything like that on it. I figure that'll be my 2027 water project. And hopefully we get the design done, get the plans approved, and I can submit that.
Item 15 is to appoint Blank as a member of the Western Pacific Port Authority Board for a 4-year term. You all have a folder in front of you. There's 3 applicants.
I guess to start it off, if I could, we got 3 qualified candidates. Dr. Jernovich has put in a few times in the past. He's orthopedic. We have the outgoing trustee in Vienna, and we have a pilot who used to be on the Port Authority board. I've got sort of had conversations with 4 different board members over the last couple of weeks, just asking what they kind of need on the board, what would enhance their board, what would make them a more fully functioning board. The feedback that I've gotten was that it would be nice to have someone with some airline experience, because they don't have anybody on the board right now. Although part of the Port Authority is to run the airport and to hire the director of the airport. They're actively looking to bring a new airlines in, and not only a new airlines, but they're actually looking for like a NetJets facility or some type of a private facility where they can repair aircraft on site to go along with the new flight school that they have there. So they all recommended to me Scott Lynn, who was the chief pilot for the Barlow Corporation, who is a pilot, been a pilot for 30 some years and was on the Port Authority before. And they said he was an asset when he was there. And that's what was recommended to me. And
Well, just to be clear, Commissioner, we do have the say of the vote, so, for them to dictate to us, I think, I don't think that that's something that, really
we should consider, but I agree with what you're saying. I do believe that somebody with experience in flight and the resume that I see here from Scott Lynn, being with the Bartlett Corporation, managing flight operations, all that he's experienced with, looks good to me, but I would second the commissioner's opinion of all of them. They're all definitely desirable to have on the Port Authority board. But it looks like this candidate, to me, not voting on it right now, but looks like a good candidate. But I just, as far as the Port Authority making recommendations, I would take that into consideration, but I wouldn't base my opinion on that, just to be clear about it.
I agree with both of you. I think all three candidates will do a fantastic job. I reached out to the director, Mr. Trevino, and I had a couple conversations with him about this appointment. And then yesterday, I also had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Scotland, and we had a good conversation. And I had a couple questions for him, and he answered them. And I think, as Commissioner Malloy pointed out, I think one of the main concerns is the pilot school that we're starting out there. With him being a pilot, Mr. Trevino thinks that he'll be an asset for that, along with many other things. And I totally agree. I think all three of them would make a good appointment for us. But I think at this point in time, I think with the experience and his background, I think Mr. Lynn is the one that we should want. So I totally agree with that.
And Rick, I agree with you, Commissioner. Yeah, the board shouldn't pick their board members, but these are other board members that are giving me input on what we're lacking here. And if they need a lawyer, said, hey, we could use legal advice. We've done that before in the past where we have an attorney on staff. We have some businessmen on staff. We have union labor on the board. So we do have a diversity of different talents. And when you're running an airport and we don't have anyone with airport experience on the board and they're hiring the airport director and managing operations of the airport every day, I just saw that as I took that input, I guess, with a little weight is a little heavier that, yeah, it does make sense that we have somebody that has some.
I just wanted to make it clear, because to be clear with both of you, I also spoke with Anthony Trevino. We had a conversation. I just want to let everybody know that our decisions aren't based on what, I mean, we take that into consideration, but I don't want to make it look like, hey, listen, we talked to so-and-so and this is what we came up with. And I would agree with Commissioner Bernard, Commissioner Malloy, that this resume to me looks like the perfect fit for the board. And Commissioner, no disrespect, I just wanted to make sure that the public knows that we're not listening to somebody and they're saying, hey, listen, we want this guy. Well, that isn't the way it works, so.
And I reached out to Anthony Trevino myself, I think a couple times. And yesterday I had the opportunity to speak with Mr. Lynn. And I had some questions, I had some concerns, and he answered them. And I think he was very open and very honest.
Anthony,
and again, not to discredit the other two. Mr. Pegg has been to more commissioner meetings than the three of us in this room over the years. And Dr. Dranovich, I know, is a big fan. He's put in for different boards in the past. He wants to become more engaged in county government, wants to become more active. He follows the meetings. It just, at this time, I think when we have somebody of the caliber that put in with, I want an airline there. I want to see another airline. I want to see that place be utilized. We just got another $5 million grant the other day from the government for the runway. I want to see that thing used and not just sitting out there and having the best looking runway in the state with very little usage. So tie that in with the flight school with YSU. That's the direction we're heading with that thing. And I'd love to see a NetJets facility or something similar and a commercial airline that people don't have to drive to Akron, Cleveland, or Pittsburgh. And I think the board is working towards that. Maybe this is a piece of the puzzle that can help with that.
I know, speaking with Anthony Trevino, that he has, and the commissioners know, he's been courting several different flight different airlines. And of course, the only hang up here right now in Youngstown is Pittsburgh and Cleveland. We're sandwiched between two large entities that kind of hinder our, chances for those types of an airline. And I believe really when Allegiant came, we were kind of used as a guinea pig in a way. Get them in, Allegiant comes in, full house, and then sees an opportunity in Pittsburgh or Cleveland, and then ends up positioning and sells there. So,
And Akron, they move most of their operation out.
in Akron. So, but I know the Port Authority, if anybody could get it done, that board and Anthony Trevina could get it done. I look forward to that. Hopefully, even a regional airline would be better than none. Something regional.
Well, the other thing is we have the airbase out there. We have to protect that
Right.
airbase and those runways. I think we have the second largest runway in the state. So, and we just received some grants to resurface the runways, and that's vital.
Yeah.
To keeping that airbase there. So, and Port Authority, they're all in tune with that. So, I think we're all on the same page.
Mhm.
Tough choice though. I mean, it's,
Oh, yeah. Well,
Okay, item 16, it's a routine liquor permit transfer. Stera LLC, 4042 Belmont Avenue, Liquor A to the Kings Group Source Court.
Before we move on, I think we're going to go into executive session. Is there any comments from the public or anybody that before we go into executive session, here you need anything signed?
No, Commissioners, one of the few times I don't have anything.
You don't have
to
anything
sign.
signed? So if there's nothing else,
our next meeting we have this afternoon. That will be on Stream Live for people to see.
Yes.
That is with the superintendents of the school boards to talk to us about any tax incentives or homestead exemption type things that we may be contemplating. That'll be at 12:30, I believe. And people can watch that on there. And then of course, we have our regular meeting tomorrow, followed by budget discussions.
entertain a motion for executive session.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion. We enter into an executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 12122 G1 to consider the dismissal, discipline, and demotion of a public employee and the investigation of charges or complaints against a public employee at the sanitary engineers department.
Second?
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez.
Yes.
Mr. Bernard.
Yes. Kenny. Kenny. Okay.
Okay, Mr. Chairman. I make a motion, we reconvene from executive session pursuant to ORC 12122 G1 to consider the dismissal, discipline, or demotion of public employee in the investigation of charges or complaints against public employee at the sanitary engineers department.
Second.
Mr. Malloy,
Yes.
Mr. Hernandez, Mr. Bernard.
Yes.
Okay, before we adjourn, I have just one quick thing that I wanted to ask. Lisa sends out the agendas on Mondays usually for us for Tuesday. Comes to the commissioners and the law department. I'd like to make a request. We also send a copy to Sheriff because she's involved in a lot of these budgetary things which affect things, and also to Alex because again, as we realized today, she wasn't kind of invited to the meeting today, but there was an issue that came up that involves her. And it'd be nice for them to see. And I don't know if we want to send it to all department heads, but those two clearly have been essential pretty much every meeting.
Commissioner, in the morning on Monday, I usually send the agenda to anybody that's got an item on the agenda. Because the workshops really, I mean, we really aren't advertising them for everybody to come that doesn't have an item on it.
But did you get an invite for this today, Alex?
I got a call from Bob and I got a call from multiple people telling me.
That's what I'm saying, but Lisa didn't know to invite you that you were part of that executive session.
I didn't know either until I mean, she wouldn't know. We
I
don't,
didn't know.
yeah, we didn't know what we don't know.
And Sharon, you came up, you had item on here, but you weren't.
Like she wouldn't.
Or even.
Well,
Yeah,
I get it.
Right.
I know you didn't
I
submit it.
She may has to like review it before. I get it the morning of. I get it if I have an item on to
That's kind
review
of
what
like-
I have on.
Okay.
To make sure it's okay.
I just don't want to get caught where we don't have someone here, we need to be here or whatever. It seems like it'd be easy just to hit all department heads or certain ones that are there if we can. That's a possibility. I think the last 3 weeks I forwarded it to Alex and it's like, why don't we just have it on the list? We can't.
I don't see that's a problem.
I mean, I can add Alex and I have Cher's been on it.
She wasn't on today, so I looked at that.
She was on in the morning now. Like I didn't really change anything.
No, but I looked
I
it
send
over.
it to you after after I've edited anything that the department heads or the elected officials need.
Like if I have something on, I have to review it, make sure it's right before it comes to you. So that's all. And I fix it if it's wrong.
Whatever.
I mean, if you don't need to be added, do you think you need to be added?
I already get it. If I have something on, I
But the only one that would be Alex, right? And I don't have a problem with Alex in a minute. She's here all the time anyway. Right?
But she should see what's on the agenda so she can prepare in case she needs to prepare something for her.
She's always prepared. Yeah, no, I don't have a problem. Yeah, I mean, yeah, so yeah.
I mean, I will say Bob did call me to tell me, but yes, I wouldn't have known. But he did call me to tell me, but Lisa wouldn't have known either that he needed me. You know, there's no, it goes kind of,
Well, we didn't know either.
right. So, and I didn't know what I didn't know until, so that's kind of the complexity. It was like, okay, how do we come, prepared if we don't know? So luckily he had gave me a heads up. Also, he does tell me, if there's other things on there, even just hires for their department that we posted the job, if you guys have any questions, there's multiple complexities about, how everybody kind of crosses over. Yeah.
Just real quick, commissioners, just to give you a heads up, Mental Health and Recovery Board, they have 2 openings and they have a lot of applicants. So you'll be getting those pretty soon. We'll be getting those to you. And then I still need to get this item on to adopt a resolution approving the revised Trumbull County Engineers Drainage Stormwater Management Soil and Water Conservation District Stormwater Pollution Prevention Manual that we have the 2 public hearings on. Unless you have other questions for Gary that you may have thought of.
Now we had the 2 hearings, so we're good. We
I
can.
mean, this is the next step. I mean, I could add it on tomorrow.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah,
I emailed you, so you could read it ahead.
No, that's fine.
Okay.
no, you-
Okay,
Short agenda tomorrow, so if we can add that, that'd be great.
okay.
Okay, make a motion to adjourn.
Second your motion.
Mr. Hernandez. Mr. Lloyd,
Yes.
Mr. Bernard.
Yes.